I've had the privilege to work with some amazing people, mostly in the performance world and the sport world. So for 5 years, I got to work with Cirque du Soleil, some of the best circus artists in the world. And then I worked a lot with Olympic athletes and professional athletes. In the past 4 or 5 years, I've worked a lot more with people like you, people in the workplace. And there are two things, when I compare the sport world to your world, there are two things that really jump to my eyes. First one, when we talk about mental skills training, I would argue you need it more than Olympic athletes. Are you surprised? Do you recognize yourself in that picture? Huh? If you think of Olympic athletes, their lives are quite simple. Hey, they train, compete, recover, train, compete, recover. Most of their schedules are very predictive. They know where they're going. They know what they have to train. Most of them don't have many responsibilities other than their sport. So it's a simple lifestyle. You guys, a little bit more complicated. Not only do you have a professional career, but I'm guessing most of you have a personal life as well. You might have kids. You know, you do your work day, you grind from 8 to 5, get home, and then it's another work day, right? A different one. And we go. And if you think of, how many of this room have seen this acronym before, VUCA? Lift your hand, please, if you've seen this. Okay, not many people. So for most of you, it's the first time, and I'm telling you, it's not the last time. So this is an acronym that comes from the US military that they use as a working philosophy to get ready for very complicated missions. And more, we use this acronym to describe the workplace. Things move fast. Things are unpredictable. Things are more and more complex. And to be great in a VUCA world, you have to be mentally strong. Think about what you do on a daily basis. How many of you do exactly what was on your job description when you first signed that contract with the government? Not many of you. And if we just think of how things changed in the last more or less 20 years. 20 years ago, most of us were using pagers. And now we're using a device that can do up to 300, 400, 500 things at the same time. And that little device we use during the day, and we can bring it in our pocket with us at home at night. We are on and connected all the time. And especially with you people in communication, I know how that works. You're working on certain files, you know, your boss needed it yesterday, right? Or you get something at 5 o'clock, I need it by tomorrow morning. That's the new reality. Now, what I want you to keep in mind, the working environment has changed significantly 20 years ago to today. It's night and day, and I think this is a great picture, the telephones, to make us understand how that works. But our brains are the same brains than 20 years ago. The way they're wired, the way they function is the same. So 20 years ago in business, we used to say to be mentally tough, it was a nice to have. It was a bonus. In this day and age, it's a necessity. And I don't need to convince you of this. I know you know this already. So that's the first big thing I realized between the world of sport and the workplace. The second thing I realized is the world of sport can teach a lot of important skills that we can use in the workplace. So for instance, the athlete that needs to know why he's doing his sport because it's a grind to go into training every day and push your physical, emotional, mental limits. It hurts. You guys, it's important for you to know your motivators, how to become passionate about what you do, to do 35, 40, 50, 60 hours a week of the same job. Be away from your family. The athlete that needs to control his breath, to stay calm and focused and composed just before he's going to go downhill onto that hill and go 125 kilometers an hour and hope to survive. You guys, just before you're about to give an important presentation, to understand how to stay composed and calm with that breathing. The athlete that needs to know how to boost his self-confidence before an important moment so he can perform on demand. When you're meeting that important person, you need to convince him of your idea. You need to believe in your skills as well. And I can go on and on and on and on. And actually, there's a survey that came out, or a stat that came out not too long ago, that said that if you look at the Fortune 500 companies right now, 90% of them, 90% of the CEOs that work for these companies are former athletes. 90%. Now, do you need to be an elite athlete to be great in the workplace? Not necessarily. But I wasn't surprised to hear that stat, because there's a lot of stuff that comes from the world of sport when we talk about resiliency, adapting to change, be confident, being calm, working as a team. We learn that in sport. So I had a great conversation with the people that organized this event to understand a little bit more. What are your needs? What's your reality? What's your reality? What's your reality? You guys have a crazy reality. Work, long days, the workloads can be variable, but sometimes they're intense. Things change fast, especially in technology, in communication. I was told that sometimes you're asked to do something with a little bit of information, but you have to produce this big product. That's fun, isn't it? And you're often asked to do more with, we hear that all the time. Aren't you tired to hear that? But it's the reality. So we're in the same type of business. My responsibility is to help our nation's athletes to win gold medals at the Olympics. It's one big task, and it's fun. It's a privilege. You guys have a task of protecting our country, protecting the information, serving people in this country. And let me tell you something, and I want to say thank you. I've had the privilege and the honor to travel all over the world for work and pleasure. I've been to probably about 45 different countries. And every single time I tell someone I'm from Canada, they treat me like a god. And it's because of people like you. We have a solid country, we have a solid government because of people like you. You're dealing with a high-performing country, like I deal with high performers in sport. We're in the same business. This is one of my favorite quotes that comes from someone that I respect tremendously. But I learned this very fast from working with people who are great in their sport. They want to surround themselves with great people that are high performers. And you guys need to remember and keep in mind that you're in here in this room because you're privileged to work for this country. You have a job to do, not only for yourself, but you're serving a nation. So, today, we're going to be together for about 55 minutes. And I've organized the time together with 3 themes: Cirque du Soleil theme, the Rio Olympics, and the Pyeongchang Olympics in 2018. I'm going to share some stories, I have some videos, I'm going to coach you a little bit because that's what I am. I'm a mental coach. And we're going to have fun. I'm going to make you reflect, make you laugh, hopefully a little bit. Does that sound like a good plan? Yeah. If you don't like the plan, well, too bad. That's the only plan I have, so here we go. Okay, so how many people in this room have seen a Cirque du Soleil show live? Oh, wow. Okay, perfect. So I got to work with this great company for 5 years, from 2008 until 2013. And just to put you a little bit in the loop before I get into my story, I want to show you a clip of one of my favorite Cirque du Soleil acts. These are a bunch of boys that I got to work with back in 2011, I think it was. And all I want you to do is pretend that you're in a circus big top. Okay, about 2,500 people. You have your Coca-Cola in your right hand, your popcorn in your left hand, and just let yourself sit back in your chair and enjoy the show. And if you like it, you can clap your hands. Okay?